What up, baby? Alyork Sports. 15 quickest minutes of sports, baby. That's all I need is 15, man. New day every Monday. 15 minutes. That's all I ask for. That's all I'm going to give you. Every Thursday, me and Noah Parker, we get on, baby. 2:30 Pacific, 5:30 Eastern. You get a whole hour that day. Today, 15 minutes, baby. Let me let this vibe come in. I need to feel the music. That's what I do, man. That's my secret, man. Feel the music, man. Everybody got their own specialties. My specialty is to feel the music and let y'all have it, man. Let everything I've been through my whole life, every tribulation, every whatever, man. Anything I have been through, let it out. Let it out. Speak my mind and keep it 100% like I do. Y'all know I keep it 100%. The raw truth. I wouldn't do this if I wouldn't keep it 100. Ain't no other way to do it, man. And with that, let's get back into it. You know what I mean? Before I start this, shout out to the East Coast, West Coast, Midwest, Los Angeles, Las Vegas, Cali, New York City, Chi-Town to D, Philly, and LES to the death. Also, shout out to Syndicate Radio TV, man. My man Dino, man. I hope everything get better for you, man. Whatever you going through, man, overcome it. I'm waiting, man. You already know, man. Vegas Divas, man. My girl Holly. You know I love you like a sister. One Voice, Kim Waterman. You know I got love for you too, girl. D Beeman, my little brother. D Beeman, man. We got to get up, man. Real talk, man. And I want to also thank everybody, man. Everybody that tuned into the Alyork, whether you hate me, love me, been my boy forever. I always want to let y'all know that I appreciate the efforts y'all put out just to tune in, because I know it's a crazy world, it's a busy world, and it's hard to get people's attention, man. But I just hope to be, you know, on my Mondays and Thursdays, that when y'all tune in, that I get y'all out of all that bullshit, have to pay your rent, kids bothering you. I hope I get y'all all out of that mess when y'all tune in to me, and I hope that y'all enjoy every minute I provide for y'all, man. And I mean that to the bottom of my heart, man. And in sports news, let's get going. 15 quickest minutes of sports. Let's go right into the NFL. 72-year-old Wade Phillips did not get offered a contract by the Rams to stay. He stood Sean McVay's first 3 years. He was this coordinator, defensive coordinator. They didn't invite him back, so that means they don't want him. So the Rams are going another direction. In other news, Saints Kiko Alonso has a torn ACL, his third. I mean, this might be a tough one to overcome. Sometimes you got to ask yourself, is it worth it? Tough injury. God bless Kiko Alonso. And in other news, Malcolm Jenkins of the Philadelphia Eagles, he plays DB, safety, whatever you want him, he's out there. He's not going to stay under the same contract. He let it be known. So they either got to pay him more or he's out. And Tua from Alabama, the quarterback, he's entering the NFL draft. So Alabama will be without Tua next year. So they'll probably have a difficult chance of winning it all. Although, you know what I mean, Nick Saban always finds a way to find somebody. And now let's go to regular sports news. Jason Garrett finally got axed. Oh, man, it's a great day in Big D. Although he got axed the other day. No disrespect to Jason Garrett. A real good dude. But his time was up, man. His time was up in Dallas, and I'm glad that Jerry Jones and company decided to let him go. You know, Garrett, like I said, never made it to a chip. I don't think he made it out the first round. 9 seasons, I don't care if he got a winning record, couldn't get the big wins, couldn't get in the playoffs, and couldn't win the playoff game he got into. So it was time to move on from Jason Garrett, who had an 85-67 record with 2-3 in the playoffs, no chips. I like Garrett, but it was time for us to move on. And who we picked up? Mike McCarthy. Now, I'm going to tell you something. A lot of y'all upset. I mean, I even was upset when I heard of this hiring, because I felt we could have got Lincoln Riley or Urban Meyer to come in and fulfill this situation for the Dallas Cowboys. Though I'm not really extremely big on the young guys coming in, but the young guys right now are the ones doing it. You know what I mean? McVay, Shanahan, they bringing that new flavor into the league and they changing up the game, especially with the running quarterback. I would have loved to got Urban Meyer because of so much experience in college football. Though the NFL is way different. I mean, he would have known immediately once he would have known that guys was talking back to him, unlike in college that if they try that, you can boot them right out of camp, boot them out to school, like immediately. NFL, different ball game. Different ball game. But I know why Jerry Jones signed Mike McCarthy, because he was safe. What I mean by safe is you get a guy that got a championship. They won in 2010 with the Packers. He's a career 125 and 77-2 record. 13 years, and he's 10-8 in the playoffs. Now, a lot of y'all might go, yeah, but that was Aaron Rodgers. You can't really say that, man, because Russell Wilson been in the league how many years? 7, 8 years. They've been to 2 chips. They 1-1. It's not guaranteed to go to the chip, and it's definitely not guaranteed to win a chip. So Peyton Manning got two chips in, 17 years? Now, he might got 4 appearances, but he only got 2 chips, so it's not guaranteed. So you got to give that man his props. Though he came in with a great Aaron Rodgers, had a good running game, and had a decent defense, but he still had to outcoach the other coach to win the Super Bowl. I think he's a safe pick because if, let's say, for example, Jerry Jones goes after Lincoln Riley or Urban Meyer and strikes out, now he tries to come back to McCarthy. McCarthy might already sign with the Giants or the Cleveland Browns who really need him. So I understand what Jerry did. He has something that was somewhat an upgrade because no matter how you put it, McCarthy got a chip, so he's definitely an upgrade from Jason Garrett, and not to mention he got a better record than Jason Garrett. So yes, he's an upgrade, but is he the guy I wanted as a Cowboy fan? I would lean to no, but is it a safe pick? Is it a safe signing? I'll say yes. So at least I know Jerry Jones already did something constructive. Not where I wanted it to be, but we're to the point where now we can maybe go 9-7, 10-6, make it to the playoffs, have a home playoff game, and maybe even win that game. So salute to the Dallas Cowboys and Jerry Jones. We didn't get what we want, but at least we got something that's worth it in Mike McCarthy. Other news. Let's go to the wild card Saturday. I got to go real quick. 15 quickest minutes of sports. Start with the first game. Texans beat the Bills 22-19. Dramatic ending in overtime. Deshaun Watson escaping that sack when 2 Buffalo Bills hit him. Though my boy Noah Parker said one hit him and the other one hit him and prevented him from falling on the floor. Whatever that meant. All I know, Deshaun Watson got out of that, got sacked 6 times before that, so he could have easily hit the deck. But no, he stood up, scrambled right, dropped it off. I mean, I wouldn't say drop it off. He threw it about 10 yards. And the receiver took it an additional 16 yards, which was a great run. That was a great run by Tawan Jones, who ran additional, like I said, 16 yards. Great play by the Texans. Game-winning play by the Texans. Buffalo Bills should have won this game. Had a lead of 16-0. Josh Allen showed that he was young. He made those young mistakes, especially getting sacked late in those games when he should have threw the ball away. But salute to the Buffalo Bills on a great season. Salute for the Texans moving on. Let me give y'all some numbers. Josh Allen, 24 for 46, 264. Josh Allen rushing 9 for 92. And Devon Singleton, 6 for 76 receiving. Deshaun Watson, 20 for 25, 247, 1 touchdown, no picks. Also rushed for 14 for 55, 1 touchdown. DeAndre Hopkins, 6 for 90. And that was a hell of a game to start the wild card weekend. And in game 2, you had the Titans 20-13 over the Pats in Foxborough. Titans played a game. I was mad because the Patriots was up 10-7, could have went up 17-7, had the ball at the 1-yard line, couldn't punch it in, kicked the field goal, few minutes left. Titans came back, won the first half, killed my ticket. And not only that, that changed the whole game. That changed the momentum of the game once the Titans went up 14-13. Because if the Pats went up 17-7 in Foxborough, going into halftime, they got like 1 loss leading at the half. So they would not lost this one either. But the fact that they scored a field goal and they let the Titans come downfield was what killed everything. I mean, Derrick Henry, to me, is the man, guy. But I'm going to finish up later on Derrick Henry. But right now, Ryan Tannehill, 8 for 15, 72 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 pick. Derrick Henry, 34 rushes, 162. First sec, 2 receptions, 23 yards. Brady, 20 for 37, 208, no touchdowns, 1 pick. it was a whack pick. It was at the end of the game, deflected, but it don't matter. Ryan Logan ratted in and made it a 7-point game instead of a 1-point game. Sonny Michel, 14 for 61. James White, 5 receptions, 62 yards, and a dramatic win by the Tennessee Titans, who Mike Vrabel and company went up to Foxborough and took that game. The other wild card game, you had the Vikings, who played a perfect game. They ran the ball. Cousins did what they expected Cousins to do, and their defense held the Saints to 20 points. They played a dramatic game, though the Saints still could have won this game. Multiple mistakes. Drew Brees with the pick early in the game when they had momentum, and then that last fumble was horrible. Taysom Hill, man. How much can I say about this guy? This guy was the man in this game. Throwing the deep ball, running the ball. I mean, even the fourth down when they was going to punt it, he got a first down, but the guy was offside. But this guy was pure excitement. Salute to Taysom Hill, who I wish gets a lot of more playing time next year. The guy's so good, I want him to play defense, man. So right now, the Orleans Saints got a big decision to make with Drew Brees. Should they sign Bridgewater? Should Taysom Hill start? Bad loss for New Orleans Saints 3 years in a row. I had them on the money line. Another tough loss. Me and Noah lost all 3 games in the last possession. No excuses. We lost. That's the bottom line. But it's hard to lose like that. If you're a gambler, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Let me give you numbers. Cousins 19 for 31, 242, 1 touchdown, no picks. Cousins played his ass off. Salute to Kirk Cousins, man, who I definitely didn't want him to do that. Cook ran for 28 for 94 yards, 2 touchdowns. Great game for Dalvin Cook. And Thielen, 7 receptions for 129. He had that big fumble early in the game, but he reached that with 120 yards receiving. Salute to Thielen. Drew Brees, 26 for 33, 208, 1 touchdown, 1 pick. He underachieved in this game. Taysom Hill, 4 rushes, 50 yards, and Michael Thomas, 7 for 70. It was just a bad overall ending for the New Orleans Saints, who the 3rd year in a row lost in a horrible way. Now, Seattle Seahawks went to Lincoln Financial Field and beat the Eagles 17-9. Carson Wentz got hurt on the 2nd possession of the game. I mean, so many bad news, man. It's just a horrible weekend for me and my peoples, man. Good defense by the Seattle Seahawks, but when you got McCown in there, 40-year-old McCown, he did what he could have. He kept him in the game, but all you got to say is Russell Wilson, Russell the Muscle, kept pushing the chains, kept getting the big 3rd-yard completion, and DK Metcalf, with my boy Noah Parker, is going to start taking notice of, because I told him Metcalf is going to be the next Julio Jones. You know what I mean? And what's my homeboy name? Megatron. I couldn't get that name. He's going to be the next Julio Megatron. Not now. A lot of y'all, when I start mentioning guys, y'all be like, oh, Al, it's too early. No, I know it's early. But what I'm saying, he's a big boy. He's tough. He works hard. I'm not comparing him yet. I'm saying he's going on that route where he will become one of those big, great receivers like the ones I just mentioned. And Russell the Muscle went 18 for 33, 25. Russell Wilson also rushed for 9 rushes, 45 yards. DK Metcalf, 7 for 160. The kid was awesome, man. And for the Eagles, McCown, 18 for 24, 174. Mike Sanders, 14 rushes, 69 yards. Dallas Goedert, 7 receptions, 73 yards. Another decent season for the Eagles and Peterson. But once again, they came up short. They came up real short. And it's a bad look. But if Carson Wentz don't get hurt, I think they actually win this game. Now, real quick, Tom Brady's situation. The only way I think Tom Brady stays is if McDaniel, Belichick, and him all click and stay on. And plus, they got to promise Tom Brady that they're going to get him some help. Now, they try to get him help. They try. They traded for Sanu. They picked, I think, what was it, a late number 1. They picked up a draft pick who was a wide receiver. But I think what really hurted Brady was when Antonio Brown got released and Josh Gordon. Though Josh Gordon eventually got caught with the PDS, so that wouldn't matter because he still would not have been playing. But the Antonio Brown release, though it was well-deserved because the kid is off the chart, man. He ain't thinking right, man. And the Patriots don't want that kind of guy on the team. But he was the only guy that could have been on that team that could have created separation and made the game easier for Edelman, Sanu, etc. Because without him being there, the only guy that could really create separation, who's going to create a double team, then you get everybody one-on-one, then they can create separation. But when you double team Edelman, and Sanu's not your fastest guy no more, and Dorsett and them, and Harry, they couldn't get no separation. That's how Tom Brady had his worst year ever. Not making an excuse for him. He also didn't throw the ball well. But I think if Brady had guys that created separation to make that pass that much easier, he would have had a bigger year. Would they won it? No. They would not won it. But they could have definitely beat the Titans and definitely made a run for it. But Tom Brady, like I said, the only way he's coming back if McDaniel and Belichick sign. Because I think if one of those two leave, I think Brady's gone. And I already know what team he's going for. Phillip Rivers retired. I'm picking him to go to the Chargers. I think the Chargers is a great fit. I also think the Chicago Bears are a great fit for him. Although that division is kind of tough, I don't think he wants to be in that division that they all hit hard. And Brady's just basically one injury away from hanging it up. So, but I think for sure the Chargers would be a great fit if he leaves New England. If he leaves New England, he's gone. But I think if I had to bet a percentage, I'll say 60%. He's staying, 40%, he's leaving. And real quick, Derrick Henry and Ezekiel Elliott a few weeks ago, I had a big talk with my man. I said I'll take Ezekiel over Derrick Henry because the fact that Ezekiel could go out there and catch the pass. You know what? What I seen this young boy do in Foxborough, Derrick Henry is the truth. He's looking like the running back in Alabama running over those young boys the way he was doing in Alabama. Now he's in the NFL, and he's running the same way right now, this season. It was not all since he came in the league. This season, the way he's running, it's almost like he's in Alabama running over those young boys over there. He is, by storm, the best running back in football, getting the rock. Getting the rock. Not overall, when you give him the rock and he take off, and even on the screen passes. Derrick Henry, I like Ezekiel Elliott, but Ezekiel Elliott, no way, no how, goes into Foxborough and gets 164 yards rushing. I don't care if he broke the 70-yard run. He wouldn't get 164. Henry did it. They knew he was getting the ball. Tannehill had 72 yards passing. Ball game. Derrick Henry is the best running back in the NFL right now. I agree with my man Juice. Juice, you called it. I'm going to agree with you. You know I give it up. I seen what I had to see in Foxborough this week. And coming up, next weekend, you got great 4 games coming up. We're going to give y'all who we like on Thursday. Me and Noah Parker. Thank you guys for tuning in. I love you guys. God damn, I love you guys, man. I'm going to continue to give y'all nothing but the raw truth on the Alyork Sports Show. 100, y'all.